Welcome back to Sports Wrap Live, everybody. We are here at Junction Bar and Grill, as we are every Thursday from 8 to 10 p.m. And you can catch us all over the world on Sunday nights. You never know where we're going to be broadcasting from, as next Sunday, Kadoma and I will be in Orlando chatting here with the guys in H-Town, of course, as we head to All-Star Weekend for the NBA. We all know that's a big time for sneakers, sports, music, parties, ladies, the whole thing. And of course it is going to be in the Magic Kingdom in Orlando, but there's been lots of talk as far as Dwight Howard goes and where his future lies in the NBA as a one of the last of a dying breed, one of the big power centers, of course, that still plays basketball. There's not many of those left these days, but we're going to keep an eye on that and everything else that's going on out there. And if you guys want to catch us, check us out on Sports Talk 790 and iHeartRadio every Thursday and Sunday night from 8 to 10 p.m. Or you can catch the podcast on sportsraplive.com. And that is brought to you by amphouston.net, where you can see the beautiful podcast work that these boys put down.
I know.
Including all the epic interviews that you'll be talking about at work all week.
We got interviews, different camera angles. We're stepping up our game. And, we might be even stepping up even more in the next,
1 minute?
Yeah.
Okay, well, as you mentioned, talk about stepping up their game. Before the break, we were talking about the ageless Spurs and how they've won 10 games in a row. And all of a sudden, you know what, they're looking like the Spurs of 2005. And we are going to get the thoughts of the starting point guard from the three-time world champion, and his name is Tony Parker. Welcome to Sports Wrap Live. Tony, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing great. How you doing?
Man, we are great here tonight. Of course, you know all about that Texas weather. It's a beautiful night in Texas tonight after some rain over the weekend.
I'm sure it is. It's freezing where I'm at. I'm in Salt Lake right now. It's freezing. I miss the Texas weather.
Yeah, I bet you do. Well, obviously the Rockets don't, as they take care of Utah tonight. Big win over Utah. But I got to ask you first off, Tony, when are you guys going to start bottling this water from the Fountain of Youth for your post-basketball futures? Because you guys can make a killing on this right now.
We've been playing great lately, and we're in a great rhythm. Everybody's playing well. Young guys are stepping up. They're playing great basketball. And we just had a great win against LA, so hopefully we can keep it going.
Absolutely. That's 10 in a row now, and you are playing like an all-star. And the Spurs are playing some incredible basketball with yourself and Tim. You're looking like it's 2005 all over again. Let me ask you, Tony, what is the key to your decade of success in San Antonio?
Well, I think obviously it starts with Pop. He's a great coach, and we have a great organization. Everybody is very unselfish, and the only thing we have in mind is to win championships. And then with Timmy, who is unbelievable for all those years, was a great example for all of us. And me and Manu, we just follow, and the rest of the guys, same thing. So it's just everything, the organization is just first class.
Well, that's funny you brought that up. That was my next question. But before I get into that, of course, one of the main reasons why you are here is our executive producer, Bun B, who is here at the table with us, wants to say hello.
Sir. What's up, Bun B?
What's going on, Tony P? Man, thank you again for calling in, man. We're really happy to have you on the line, man. Of course, you guys have been playing incredible. Not to mention you yourself personally have been playing like off the meat racks right now. You know what I'm saying? How has it been? How has it been as a player keeping up with this shortened schedule and a lot of these back-to-backs and these back-to-backs?
Yeah, no, it's been crazy. It's a crazy season. It's not human what we're doing, but we had to do it because of the lockout. And me personally, I just feel great. I'm in great rhythm. I played with the national team this summer, qualified for the Olympics, and then I played in France during the lockout. So I came into the season 100% and feeling great. So hopefully I can keep it going.
Did you guys as a team collectively, decide that you guys were going to try to come back healthy this season? Because a lot of guys, you could tell their teams, you could pretty much tell who worked out in the offseason and who didn't. And it seems like you guys are holding up pretty good this year. Did you guys collectively come to that decision?
Oh, definitely. We were very disappointed after last season. We had a great regular season, finishing in the first place in the West and losing in the first round against Memphis. It was very disappointing. So everybody made a conscious effort that, next year everybody comes back in shape and try to get a run out of it, because we know Timmy's not going to play for long, so we want to try to win one more.
Hey, Tony, I wanted to ask you about the last game you guys played against the Clippers. I wanted to specifically ask you about that last play at the end of the game where Chris Paul, he had that kind of like errant pass and it went right to Gary Neal and he nailed that three-pointer. What was your reaction to A, Chris Paul kind of making that mistake, and B, how much confidence do you have in Gary Neal to make that shot? Because he's made some pretty big shots for you guys in the postseason and past.
Definitely. You know, Gary Neal is known to make big shots. You know, he showed last year against Memphis in Game 5 in the playoffs. Hit that huge three. And, you know, he's got a big heart, and he's not afraid to take big shots. And it was just an unbelievable play. I was surprised that Chris made that play, but, you know, basketball sometimes is crazy, and that game was crazy. And Gary hit that three. It just shows again that he's got a lot of confidence in all our team. You know, we have a lot of confidence in Gary to take big shots.
Hey, Tony, you talk about that confidence, and you brought up Pop as soon as I asked you about your decade of success. How important has Pop been to you in your 10 years in the NBA now?
Well, Pop is like a dad for me because I was 19 years old, and I was very young, and I had a lot to learn. And then Pop had so much confidence in me, and he threw me in the fire right away after 5 games, putting me as a starter. And it's just been a great ride. And if I'm here today, it's a lot to Pop because he's been on me and pushing me every day to try to make me the best player I can.
Let me ask you this. You were a young phenom when you were coming to a new country and a new culture. When you stole the show on SportsCenter Nightly back in 2001, 2002 as a teenager from France. One guy that's really not going anywhere amidst all the hype right now, of course, is Jeremy Lin. And being that you kind of came out of virtually nowhere with your immediate success and rise to fame in the U.S., what are your thoughts on his talents as a point guard first and foremost, and then the media hyperactivity on the story itself?
Yeah, I'm just very happy for him. You know, he deserves it. You know, his story obviously is incredible. Coming from nowhere, being the underdog, everybody likes that. But he's legit, you know, he's playing great. He's being consistent. He's been performing game after game, and you see it again today against Dallas, who's one of the best defensive teams. He scores 28 and 14 assists, and I'm just happy. It's almost like I want to cheer for him and make every shot. It's just a great story.
Well, hey, our guy here, of course, Soccer Talker Luis, is a diehard Spurs fan in a city in a city of red here, of course, with the Rockets. But he'd like to ask you a couple questions, Tony, if you don't mind.
Yeah, no problem.
Hey, what's going on, Tony? It's Lewis here. Hey, man, I got a question for you. Well, 2 questions, actually. Speaking of the Jeremy Lin phenomenon, the last time there was an NBA strike-shortened season, the NBA Finals in '99, it was the Spurs versus the Knicks. How would you feel if you were to go one-on-one against Jeremy Lin?
That would be great. It would be great. You know, I can't wait, you know, to play against him and see him live. I've been watching, you know, the games. I watched the game today, and he's playing great. And so I can't wait to see him live, and it's going to come soon. You know, we play against New York on March 7th, so it's coming fast.
Yeah, y'all the 2 hottest teams in the NBA right now. You know, I'm a big Spurs fan. I represent the silver and black all day, every day. You know, I get tired of people telling me Spurs basketball is boring, old, and this and that. But y'all had 4 championships in 8 years. How do you feel when people, you know, disrespect you like that?
Yeah, I don't really pay attention on that. You know, I always said, like, if we had our run and we were living in New York, we'd be rock stars right now. If we win 3 championships in 5 years, but, you know, I don't care. You know, I'm very happy to be in San Antonio. We have the best fans, you know, in the league. It's great people, and we're always under the radar, but it's fine with us. You know, we have that mentality that we just, you know, take care of ourselves and make sure we improve every day. And we just keep winning. And so hopefully we can do it one more time for Timmy.
So, Tony, are you a soccer fan?
I'm a huge soccer fan. You know, one of my best friends is Thierry Henry, you know, plays in New York. So I'm a huge soccer fan. I love watching soccer, and I try to watch as many games as I can.
We're just trying to solidify Luis's role here on the show, so we're going to use that. So we can get more soccer talk here on the show for sure. Hey,
we can talk about soccer next time I come in the show. We'll talk about soccer.
Absolutely. As we get closer to the MLS season, and then, you know, of course, the Olympics this summer. So we'll definitely keep you in mind when we bring more soccer here on the show. But we don't just talk sports here on the show, Tony. Sports Rap Live is also just a little bit about the culture of sports, including sneakers, and our big H-Town Sneaker Summit event that happens twice a year. And one of our sponsors is Active Athlete, and they are having their big giant tent sale coming up in 2 weeks, and that's running during All-Star Weekend, so you guys can look like an All-Star just like Tony Parker. And sneakers anywhere from $10 to $45. All the hottest brands like Jordan, Nike, Adidas, Reebok, Crooks and Castles, LRG, and many more. And the tent is restocked daily for all the hottest deals. And Active Athlete is located at Belfort and Telephone Road in the Kroger parking lot. And all you have to do is call ahead to see what the scoop is on all the killer deals. Kind of like that 10-game winning streak. If you want to call at 713-242-0424 to get in the game. So, Tony, we got to ask you, were you a sneakerhead growing up in France?
Big sneaker. I was a big Michael Jordan fan. My dad, he's American, he's from Chicago, and so we were huge Bulls fans, so I had all the Jordans.
And Tony, basketball, I think people don't really realize how big of a phenomenon basketball is in France. With the Kai 54 tournament, people are starting to really see, the kind of hand skills that these guys.
Definitely.
Not to mention, guys in Paris, I think, take flight with the ball and do things that people from anywhere else in the world aren't doing. You know what I'm saying? What do you think?
Basketball is serious in France, and especially the playgrounds is huge in France, and they take it seriously, and it's like no mystery. Like, in the NBA, we got like 11 French guys, I think, this year. I think we're the European country the most represented.
That's right, boys out there ball so hard. You know what I'm saying?
DJ I had to do it. It's like the perfect little mesh right there.
Absolutely.
Perfect connection there.
Well, our own NBA insider, Maurice Bob from Slam Magazine, he goes out there to Key 54 every summer, and he said that the sneaker game over there is serious. So we got to ask you, Tony, give us your top 3 favorite pair of sneakers of all time.
Of all time?
All time, baby.
Got to put Michael Jordan, the first one, his rookie one. Then I was a big fan of the 96 Jordan. And then my third one would be the 91.
And what are you hooping in on the court right now, Tony?
Right now, my model is a model from Asia. They're like super light, good for guards.
Nice.
Right on. Now, are you still with Nike, or are you on another brand?
I'm still with Nike. I've been with Nike since I'm 17 years old, so it's been a long relationship with them.
Absolutely. Oregon's been good to you, that's for sure. Well, hey, Tony, before we let you go, beyond the shoes, we also have one of the only sports talk shows on the radio that has a beat, thanks to our man DJ Gons, who is always got it dialed in right now. You hear that ends in Paris, of course, which is only fitting. What is your, Gons, you have a question for Tony. What is your question?
I was going to ask you, Tony, you have kind of like your prep music as far as when you get, to the stadium or the arena. Well, like what's rocking in your iPod right now?
What's rocking right now? I don't have an artist in particular. It's more like mixes. One of my best friends is a DJ in France. He's the best DJ in France, and he always does a lot of mixes for me. So it's not just one artist; it's just mixes.
And who would that guy be, if you don't mind me asking?
And of course, Bumby is on the mix.
There you go.
Who's the DJ?
On the mix.
Who's your DJ?
The DJ's name is Cut Killer.
Oh, okay. Is it like electronic music?
I told Bumby, March 5th, I'm opening a lounge in San Antonio.
Yes.
We got a lot of Houston people who want to come. It's going to be March 5th. Fat Joe will perform live for the grand opening of my lounge, and Cut Killer will be the DJ.
And what is that, the 5th or the 6th, Tony?
Monday, the 5th. March 5th, Monday.
March 5th, Monday, San Antonio. Tony Parker's new club opening. Fat Joe performing. Sports Map Live might have to make that trip down there for that.
Hey, you're all invited. You can come.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
I would love to make that trip. We'll come out there and party with you. I actually get out to San Antonio quite a bit with the day job, Tony. So what's the name of the club so everybody can check it out?
Yeah, definitely.
Nueve Lounge.
Nueve Lounge.
Are we doing a pool party at the house after the club?
You know it, Bumby. You know it.
you let me know. I'll be spinning over there for you. You let me know.
There you go, man. There you go. We got a party.
The private party is invites only. I'm sorry, so it's gonna be close.
Well, we'll bring H-Town to the club, but then they got to go home after the club when we go to the pool.
There it is, Tony. Well, hey.
Thanks, Tony.
We got much love for you. And you know what, man? We love the Spurs here in H-Town because you guys, when the Rockets weren't winning championships, the Spurs were. So We represent for the whole state of Texas. And you know what? We represent for the whole world here on Sports Rap Live because you can check us out on iHeartRadio. So we appreciate you joining us, man.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me. Take care, Bumpy.
Take care, Tony. Thanks again.
Bye.
Ciao.
Hey,
There it is right there, man. That was huge. Shout out to our producer, Derek, back in the studio, who is a Spurs fan himself.
Yep.
So I'm glad he got to be on the decks tonight.
And that's how we do it here on Sports Rap Live.
It
Also
really
hard.
is. It really is. We even mix in live mentions for active athlete while we got Tony Parker on the line.
Yeah, that was pretty ill that Tony Parker had to sit through the commercial like that. But that just shows you how down to earth he is, and he's a great guy. I've known Tony for many years. He's a great, good, friend of mine. He's an incredible athlete. And, he was more than happy to come on the show. And, luckily I have a few friends in the sports industry, and we'll be doing this from time to time. Not a lot, but whenever, people that we have access to are making ripples in the sports world or the sneaker world, we're going to reach out to those guys and, stay tuned in to Sports Rap Live. As the executive producer of this show, I promise that we will have many more big gets like Tony Parker in the future. It's only right with Sports Rap Live. The Rap Pack deserves it. Soccer Talk Luis, he gets a lot of grief on this show for the teams that he likes to represent, but we want everybody to feel free to represent what they represent, and that was a nice little something for Luis, because we give him so much grief, so that was like a birthday present. So when your birthday comes up, Luis, don't ask for anything.
There it is.
Moving
There
on.
it is. We pay it forward here on Sports Rap Live.
Sports Rap Live.